Hey everybody, I'm Red Rock Spire, and welcome to episode 5 of my Minecraft Create Skyblock modded Minecraft series. So, you know the old trope about doing some stuff off camera. Well, I've been doing some stuff off camera. Anyway, I wouldn't normally hop into creative, but I want to go ahead and hop into creative because I think the vantage points that we can get will be very useful for as we talk about what we've done while off camera. So I built this hostile mob spawner, and as you can see, it's two platforms that are too tall, so we can't get endermen and things like that spawning in there. But mobs spawn in there and they just get schwacked and they get knocked over into the channel. And then we have these blades that knock them over and they knock them down in here. They fall on magma blocks, and then we haven't hooked up any of the create stuff, but we have these fans, and the fans push all the goodies over there into the hoppers right there. And I built this. This is the last thing I built off camera, and as you can see, it's been, oh, look at that. And we get some leggings. Very cool. Let's go ahead and throw those on. So let's take a look at what we actually did here. We have our first sweeper, and it's got its own windmill bearing, and these have 16, so they are 64 on each one. Now we did 2 instead of 1. You see where it's divided right there. And the reason why we did that is because when we had this all tied to one radial chassis, it was 128 total blocks of wool, and when you would turn it on, it would spin so fast that the bad guys here, and I'll go ahead and simulate getting hit. You see it just pushes us along. Before that, when they were tied together, it would spin so fast that you would just like, basically instead of getting swept, you would just kind of glitch right through the middle of the blade. Now the other thing that we've done, the two other things that we've done are we have actually finished up planting in our farm and our crop farm and our tree farm system. And the other thing that we did was we really worked a lot more and added some extra spots for just cobble generation, and we filled in all of our nether generators. So this, I consider this basically completely done now. It spins around, it mines stuff, and it mines an awful lot. And as you can see, I also put in a safety fence because it's a heckin' dangerous area in there because of that drill. It'll actually almost take you from full health just about below half. So it's really dangerous if you're walking around in there. So as you see, this thing turns out tons of great materials, including, look at that, ancient debris, 30 of them, and then just stacks and stacks of other stuff. Now Blackstone's going to be very nice. That's going to be a very nice material, and that's what we're actually going to focus on mining today. So what we're going to work on today is we're going to work on building a mechanical crafter right here, and we're going to actually tie it down to, we're going to tie it into a bunch of stuff that we're doing down below with this nice little power generation system under here that you can see right through here. I think we have 10 water wheels. We want to transmit that power right up here, and then we want to have it run our crafting system. Now there's another thing that we want to eventually build, which is called a variable speed controller. Or I'm sorry, a rotational speed controller, and we'll need to have some special blocks made for that. One is a lapis sheet, and we'll need the lapis lazuli block, and we crush up lapis to make that. So we'll need that right there. And today, I think we're going to solve all of our andesite woes. We're no longer going to be confined to only the andesite we harvest off of that other island. So it's just effectively going to become renewable today, which will be great. All right. So we'll end up making one of these. We'll have to make a basin to get the block of lapis, and then we'll press that. We should have everything else. I think we'll run out of polished rose quartz though, so we'll have to make one of those. So anyway, let's go on to the mechanical crafter. That's going to be something we're going to need, and so let's go ahead and make 7 of those. Let's make 7 of these. And there we go, we have 21. Now let's go ahead and dump the rest of our materials back in the box over here. And let's go ahead and make gearboxes. Now we're going to need a lot of gearboxes, and we can only make a few. So what are we shy of? We are shy. All right, so we have 9 gearboxes, and we have our mechanical crafter. Let's go ahead and get our mechanical crafter set up. And we need to transfer power. Now our machine right here is ready to go. You see the cogs are spinning. So what we'll do is we'll roll right over here, and we'll grab our materials that we need for the crushing wheel. Boom. So let's go ahead and work on making our speed controller. And the reason we want to make our speed controller right is because we're going to have multiple crushing wheels right over here running. And when we have multiple crushing wheels, we're not really sure how much power that's going to use, plus the belt and anything else we have over here. And we're sending power over here from this big source. It's a big source, it's 10 water wheels, right? But if that's not enough at that rotation speed to run 3 sets of crushing wheels, or if it's more than enough, we want to be able to adjust our speed over there very easily. And you can normally do that by using little cogs and big cogs, and making these kind of these these kind of crazy machines that change speed and all that with a bunch of space, or we can just go ahead and we can make a speed controller. Now the speed controller needs the integrated circuit. And to get the integrated circuit, we're going to need that, and we're going to need a basin. And so let's go ahead and get ready to build the basin. All right, we have our basin. Now we just need to get our lapis. We'll go ahead and grab our lapis right there. And there we get our lapis sheet. And the other problem is our crafting right here, our crafting material size is wrong. And so we can go like this, and like this, like that, and then we can go like that. But you notice that our machine doesn't start, and we're also missing the polished rose quartz. Okay, now if you remember these plates we made earlier, we can take these plates and we can actually cover up parts of the crafting system that we're not using. And so the wheel is the largest size, so 21 is actually the largest that you'll ever need. Now this is a neat speed controller thing. You can see we have 16 right there, and we can just crank to speed up and crank to speed up and crank to speed up. Now eventually we're going to hit overstressed. There we go, look at that right there. And we hit overstressed right there. So right now 64 is the fastest we can go, and that's really fast actually. So what we can do is we can take something like, we can take something like our blackstone right there, and we can just chunk it. All right, so look at that. Right now we can run at 20, but if we go to 24, we overstress our system. So we'll put that right down at 20, and then we'll go ahead and run some just cobblestone through the system, and let's see what happens. Oh. Cool, so we get gravel right there. The gravel's going through right there. It's going to become sand. We get lime sand. Look at that. So the output of cobble was ultimately lime sand and some bone meal. So that'll be really nice. We could actually build a very, very big cobble generator and just continually throw stuff in there. But we can come over here and we can do this number right here, and we could even automate turning the lime sand into its constituent parts later if we want. So as you can see, I left a little bit of a gap between all of our crushers, and so I think next time around what we'll do is we'll put some andesite funnels, or actually some brass funnels in between with some filters, and we'll pick some items off, and we may even do a little bit of redstone and lock some of our funnels, or unlock some of our funnels, depending on how many things we want to send through here, or how many of the crushers we want to send things through. So we might have like a couple levers, and say like a lever here, a lever that runs a funnel here, and a lever that runs a funnel here. And so we could say we want it to go through one crusher or two crushers or all three, depending on what it is. And so we can really make a smart system over here for this, with a little bit of redstone and a little bit more create. But I think we'll go ahead and save that for our next episode. Now that we have this set up and we can do some great stuff, like processing our blackstone into andesite and things like that. We can really start to do a lot more interesting stuff with create now that andesite is effectively renewable. But anyway, thank you very much. I think this episode is a little bit shorter than the last one. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again on episode 6, hopefully pretty soon. Ciao.